Hoppy Kercheval, 5:55 a.m. How early did you get in that day, by the way?
Probably 3:30.
How long did you do sign-on shift?
I signed on like 7 years.
Not all.
6 days a week for 7 years.
Lightweight.
I know. Couldn't do it now. Now when I wake up at 3:30 is to go to the bathroom. And go back to bed.
Welcome to the 2 o'clock hour, Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com on a Wednesday, and I apologize because Stephanie Pauly is our producer, one of the producers of the show, and normally she has everything. We have a thing we call the run sheet, when we have who we're calling and what we're doing and so on. And so, and Stephanie, I don't even know whether you know this, I did the run sheet today, and I put the wrong date on. I put 2025 on it, because how many of us in modern day actually write the date out anymore? I mean, you did it when you were in school, you did it back when people wrote checks and whatever. This may have been the first day that I have written the date down, and I was responsible for putting together the sheet. And my co-host, the lovely and talented AB, starts the show by saying January 24th, 2025, because she read it directly off the sheet, and it is indeed the year of our Lord, 2026.
Oh yeah, he did find something out. Sonia, you're related to Thomas Jefferson?
Well, no, I'm not related to Thomas Jefferson, but I am related to Samuel Kercheval, who was a historian.
I'm going to tell you something about Samuel Kercheval. Him and Jefferson out smoking corn silk. Kercheval told him, Thomas, I don't know about this country. I want to start again.
He could.
So I don't have a monitor here, so I really can't see what happens at the beginning of the show. Mm-hmm. So at what point do I pop up? When the music starts and Mr. Announcer comes on?
Yeah.
So they see all the little panic things that I do that I'm still in the process of setting up?
Yes. They see you shuffle about uncomfortably. They see you blow the dust off your headphones. They see you put in like 2 cough drops at the same time.
Oh, yeah. I don't do 2 at the same time. Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know that. I should probably... Now, these shows are archived, right? So I can go back and watch them.
Yes.
So I could live this show in real time and then go home and, when I say something to Linda like, hey, did you hear when I did this? And I don't watch it. Well, let's get in front of the TV and watch me do it again for 3 straight hours.
Yes, it's archived just like the audio podcast.
Ah, that's right.
And see, this is the thing that gets the NCAA in trouble, when it goes to court here. Is there a clock or not? Greg, we talk about the clock all the time. Mm-hmm. If he began in 2019, the clock should have run out, whether he's played the 4 years or not. And that's part of the argument, because some guys go right through the clock, right? TJ Finley, we've mentioned many times on this show. 7th team coming up this year. He's playing for Incarnate Word. He's played 7 seasons at 7 different schools. Now, why hasn't his clock started? Why doesn't he have the 5-year clock? So if you're Aguilar, I get it.
He just bouncing him off the ropes. Somebody save this man. Oh, my Lord. Oh. Very nice, very nice. He hit him with everything he didn't want.
Ten seconds remaining.
Going to be a direct snap here.
Snap back. It's Tyler. Tyler fakes the run. He throws. He's got an open man. Pass top 10. 5. End zone. It's a touchdown. Pulled in by Nestor. 3 seconds left.
Are you kidding me with the play call right there by Kevin Whiteman? Again, forget the game-winning field goal. Whiteman says, we're going to try and win this thing right now. The direct snap to Tyler sucked everybody up, and Nestor slips behind. What an unbelievable gutsy play call, and then perfect execution by these Falcons.
Things aren't always going to be great. And sometimes, you can work really, really hard and it's still not great. You're still not successful. But, if you continue to do it, one way or another, things are going to be work out. You're going to be successful. And it may not be in the world's eyes, but God's made us this way. He's blessed us with so many things, and I think that's one of our attributes that we need to have is we're going to continue to work. We're going to continue to work hard, and if it doesn't work out exactly how we want, just keep plugging away because God's got better plans.
Live from West Virginia's capital city with news from across the state. This is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law with 13 News and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barron and Metro News' Dave Allen.
Welcome into the 2 o'clock hour, final hour, Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Open line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. Batten down the hatches. Hurricane Rob is here. It's Metro News Midday.
Metro News Midday is presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com. Join in by calling 800-765-8255 or text 304-TALK-304. Let's go live to downtown Charleston. Here's Dave Allen.
It's 2 o'clock hour on the final day of winter. Yes, indeed. Spring officially kicks in tomorrow. It's Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Stephanie, Paulie, Ryan Nicholson, our producers today. Open line West Virginia, 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. Haven't had this guy on in a while because he's been a little bit busy in life and stuff. And his name is Robert Cornelius.
Hey, man.
And he joins us now. How you doing?
64 and beautiful outside in downtown Charleston. Rolling around with my windows open. It's very nice out there.
All right. It's a far cry from what it was this time 48 hours ago. Do you know that I can't speak for all parts of West Virginia, but in the Charleston Metroplex, we actually had below average snowfall this year than what we have in the past. It's just we had that one snow in January that stuck around for seemingly like 4 years because the ground was so cold. But we actually had, in the Charleston area, we actually had less snow than what is the statistical average.
Yeah, no, it compacted perfectly, and I got the wife a new all-wheel drive car around that time. Then it pretty much stopped snowing after delivery immediately.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best way to tip it
Did
off.
you at
in
least
the
get
snow.
her a new snow shovel?
No, did not. I got her a new
be
snow brush, and I got her a new, almost new Tesla.
Okay, I was going to say that would be the thing to do, would be to get her a quality snow shovel, because that would show you really care, Robert.
The metal kind, you mean, not the plastic kind?
Yes. I mean, only the best for Miss Jackie.
Very Minnesota. She deserves it. She deserves better.
All right. Session just wrapped up. Thoughts?
Meh, bored. Not interested. I don't think it's particularly interested or interesting. If they do less, it's probably better for folks, regardless of your partisanship or whatever. I don't want them making hundreds of laws. I'd rather there are fewer hundreds of laws every time they go back there. Usually they're not super needed. It's a lot of busy work up there. So as long as the budget is balanced, taxes get cut, generally folks are happy. That's what you want.
I was doing an interview earlier today with Senator Tarr. He was on our local show in Charleston. He was also on Talkline today, too. And he said kind of paraphrasing here about when I asked him for something positive, he said, well, I don't think we did a lot of harm, or the body did a lot of harm.
It's very medical. Do no harm.
I was going to say do no harm.
Yeah.
There might be people that would disagree with that.
Hippocratic oath. The government, we should be trying to get the government to do less, not more.
Mm-hmm.
And the more laws we make, I figure they're doing more.
But why can't we get Republicans, and I'm not talking specifically even in West Virginia, but why can't we get Republicans to understand that, the new wave of the Republican Party? Because it seems to me that we have a lot of Republicans who want government more involved in things on the national level and also under the dome. And that's so not Republican. That is so not Ronald Reagan. Why can't we I mean,
Because
where did we change?
if you're doing something or look like you're doing something or look busy, that's more interesting to people who do care about this and are cheering you on than things that are passive. If we're just passive here and we do things and do less, what is that? That people will say they're interested in that, but that's not something that moves you or moves voters. You have to have some shiny thing to follow, and that's I think what you're getting. And again, it's a discussion. It's ongoing. The Dems had 83 plus years of being in charge and figuring out how to run this thing like a cartel. Our guys still aren't in total agreement, and they don't completely get along. They'll figure it out. What the people want will be obvious to us starting this primary in 55 days, is my guess.
What do you think, though, that maybe I'm just reading it wrong because I say that a lot of what I hear out of Republicans these days is not very Republican?
I think you're just seeing what's going by on Facebook or the news or whatever. I think most people aren't that tuned in and don't.
That's a very
don't care.
good point. That's a very good
You're
point.
only hearing the loudest squealing voices in the room, whether that's in the legislature, whether that's on Facebook, whether that's in even more conventional media. Most people in this state have no idea the session was on, have no idea when it ended, don't care. You guys look at it. There are 200 people in the state that are truly interested in the session, and about 5 of them are in this room or in Morgantown working every day, and you play it and you overplay it, and the people out there worried about their job pipelining or working in Jane Lew or whatever don't care, aren't listening.
That's not you're not incorrect on a lot
Normal
of that.
people don't care about the last 60 days. Zero.
Yeah, normal people don't, and they don't care until it affects them.
Yeah.
And then when the gas price, and I'm going to use this as an example, when gas prices go up, when whatever, fill in name, that it hits home, then they're like, what the heck?
Yeah, they react to everyday issues usually involving spending or the economy, and those are, again, more federal than state.
Mm-hmm.
But the bigger picture of it is, look, people are not that tuned in. And unless they do something really, really great or really, really stupid in here, it just washes over them.
Now, you're somebody who's been around politics. Again, we're talking to Rob Cornelius, somebody who's been around politics for a long time. That last hour in the House, that was something.
I mean, it was a scheduling snafu. I'm not particularly interested. I mean, look, that issue, that bill they were voting on essentially started in 2018. You're telling me they haven't figured out how to solve this in 7 years?
Yeah, Rayleigh's Law we're talking about, yeah.
I mean, it's important, but like, again, if you guys can't figure this out, in the first 10 days of session, the last 6 or 7 years we've attempted it, there's clearly something probably still wrong in the law or something that still rubs people the wrong way. I don't want to get into the nitty gritty of it, but it's not that interesting.
Well, I don't think
they should have solved it a long time ago if it's that big a deal.
Yeah, okay.
No one's going to remember it 10 days from now. It's certainly not going to affect how anybody votes on May, whatever.
I want to talk about the primary, okay? I mean, because there are a lot of folks, a lot of Republicans that have primary opponents. And that, well, I think the more people that run,
everyone should have a primary on every side.
Yeah, I 100% agree. All right, but with what came out of the session, there were a lot of hurt feelings. Do you think that the average voter, and you kind of answered this earlier, but the average voter, when they go to the primary, that they're going to choose between, and I'm only saying Republicans because they're the ones in charge. Mm-hmm. Do you think that they're going to look at the Republicans that are running and go, well, he or she did or didn't do this?
No.
Okay.
No, they have no very little cognizance of what they did or voted on or didn't vote on or anything.
The ones that bother to show up to vote, even, because it's probably going to be a low turnout.
Exactly, and it's going to be a more conservative turnout because the primary is now closed. And belabor that point all you want, but the voting public, the Republican average median voter, is certainly not any further left. They're going to continue to bend right, and I don't think anything's going to change their behavior. Look, it's what I tell people in candidate training, or when I'm coaching a candidate or whatever, they're looking to hire me, or someone's trying to figure out what to do. You're not that important. No one knows who you are. If you're a state senator, you're lucky if your name ID is 20% in your district. It's probably lower. And when people get to the polls, you're lucky enough to remember your name, your last name, and 1 or 2 positive words about you. That's the best you're going to do. Mm-hmm. And most of these people can't even perfect that process on their own.
So anything that we saw in this session, do you think that, because again, a lot of Republicans, of course, all the House is up and some of the senators are up as well.
Half plus.
A lot of them have primary opponents, sometimes in some cases more than one primary opponent on the Republican side, which is something that you wouldn't think would happen. It happened to Democrats years ago. So anything that happened there going to cause any division within the party itself, not with voters, but I mean within the candidates?
Don't care about the division of the party. The people will go and vote the way they want to vote. Again, the voters will do what they do. You have the voters you have, not the voters maybe you think you want. Mm-hmm. And you want these voters to be like very tuned in and know everything you did, everything you voted for, everything about you. They don't, and they don't care that much unless it's governor, president, U.S. Senate, something where they know you and your name ID is effectively 100%. They don't care. So you need to figure out what issue either A, makes you palatable to them, or B, what issue, what one word in the name of the other candidate makes them a loser to the voting public. Whether it's trans this or whatever dumb thing, tax increase that. If they remember your opponent's name and one negative word, it works the same way. These are simple races.
If you were advising someone as a Republican right now, what would you have them say about this past session, if anything? Would you have them go in and say, hey, we had a great session? Or maybe does it depend on the candidate? It depends on the area?
I think the granularity. I think there were things were done. We talked about tax cut. We talked about economic development things, different announcements the governors come through with, and there are more coming. I don't think any of those necessarily move the needle in elections this far down the ballot. Now, if you're voting, this is the fifth or sixth thing down the ballot, below Senate, Congress, all these other things, I don't think people have the bandwidth to be worried about what you just did. If it's a positive, great, and candidates should do positive ads, and other people should do negative ads. And if the candidate wants to say, I voted for this legislation to help the economy, cut taxes, build this plant, whatever, that's great, but usually that's not the decision point.
Well, okay, because I think that this is where the hot button topics come in, because a lot of folks like us in the media, we get chastised by both sides by saying, well, you guys focus on, as you called it earlier, Rob, the shiny objects. Mm-hmm. Well, one of the reasons that we focus on the shiny objects, not saying that we don't, but sometimes, well, no, it's because it's what people are talking about. The people that are tuned in, and I agree with you, a lot of people, most people aren't, but the ones that are tuned, this is what they're talking about.
Well, I deal in the world of identifying and motivating voters. And all those people talk to each other and talk to the media and talk in the Capitol. There's 200-300 people that are self-important in the Capitol. There's not an undecided vote amongst any of them. They don't matter. For the industry I'm in, we're trying to identify people who actually show up to vote. That's a huge part of this, who actually be that 30% of folks interested enough to do it, and then communicate with them. And not communicate to every busybody in the Capitol, every reporter in this station, in the TV stations further downtown. That's not relevant. That's not the audience. So whatever they think is usually behind, or it's usually attuned to a voter that doesn't exist.
We're talking again with Rob Cornelius. So we saw the announcement. We talked about it earlier that Alex Mayer was leaving. Well, he's already left the governor's cabinet. Now he's taking another job. Is it just, and this is not me being critical of the Morris administration, I'm just kind of like looking back at, does it seem like there's a lot more turnover there? Maybe there's not. Maybe we just hear about it more. But does it seem like there's a lot more turnover with the Morris administration?
Not really. I think the issue is maybe they didn't fill some of the jobs as early as they wanted to last year. So people started later. I think, these terms, if they're 4-year terms in a governor or U.S. Senate, like you saw your boy Brian Abraham rolling after, a year and a half, whatever. Same idea. Guys, they either want to get something else, do something else and get out, or they're on a cycle of being there for the first 2 years or the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. And the crew you open the store with is probably different than the crew you
in any business.
Close the store with. The folks that opened your store, they're really great, moved on to the next version of the store and are training the next town over, or they didn't fit, and we're gonna get someone who's more the right flavor.
There's something I think to be said for that, and I think that's a very good analogy on your. That's
and say this for West Virginia, we don't have a lot of long-term Republican to conservative governor expertise. Name me the first 50 Republicans you would hire for a Morrissey administration or any other Republican administration. Who are they? Mm-hmm. That you have trouble hiring great people because a lot of them, frankly, leave and have left the state, governor agnostic.
Well, and there are a lot of people.
You got to get people to come home, and that's a lot of this was
right. That's where I was going.
Begging or finding people. Hey, you want to come back from D.C. and save West Virginia? Hey, do you want to come back from Charlotte and save West Virginia? Hey, you're in Columbus, but it's only 2 hours away. Easton's not that great. Get back here. and that's a lot of the process when you're hiring for these administrations. I know Patrick had that when he was in the AG's office. I know as a governor you have that. I know the sub offices, the treasurers and whatnot. There just sometimes aren't people who are experienced in whatever facet you need. And again, it's a government job where we're going to pay you less than probably what they're going to pay you at Toyota or somebody who's a big-time publicly traded, where your contribution matters to the bottom line.
There have been those that have been critical of the Morrissey administration for not hiring enough people from West Virginia, and then, but he
there aren't enough
in his part. He said, "I want the best qualified people. I don't necessarily look for, well, are they from, Morgan County? I don't, I want the best. And there is something to be said for that, I think, as well.
Yeah, that's been the issue. Again, we're the right age group. You're a hair older than I am, but the same thing. How many people that were great from your high school class are here doing some big boy job or big girl job here in West Virginia? And how many?
Well, how about Brian Abraham?
That's kind of a big
he's in
deal.
my high school class.
No, I mean he's not my guy, but that's a pretty big hire. It's a pretty big job. I mean, AAP's run out of Columbus, so he's going to have to go to Easton a lot.
Well, yeah, I also had former Senator Richard Ojeda in my graduating class as well.
Well,
who just won?
Yes, a
North Carolina
primary, and
in North Carolina.
Congratulations, I guess.
I mean, so if you think about the Logan High class of 1988, you had Brian Abraham, who's now the new president of, or will be, of Appalachian Power. You had former state Senator Richard Ojeda, who won his primary in North Carolina, and me.
Sure, big deal. You guys are all big deals.
Yeah, no,
it's fine.
One of those three is. I'll say that.
You can
not the other two.
can go anywhere from here, but the question is, if you've already left, getting you back is the hard part.
Yeah. How do you do that? How do you market for people that want to come back to West Virginia?
I mean, obviously, cost of living is a big one. How we treat things on tax. You're going to see more states in the Far East and the Far West go to war with people who have resources. We're talking about California, wealth taxes, New York, New Jersey, same things. Give people a reason to be here and the ability to work from here. But honestly, with so many things, you can telecommute as long as you're not like welding or something. A lot of people can be here and work from here, and you're one Starlink away from doing whatever.
And I think that the fact that we're focusing on in West Virginia our proximity to other places. I wish we didn't have to focus on that, but it is what it is. But, I mean, if you're in West Virginia, you're not far, depending on where you are, from Pittsburgh. You're not far from D.C. You're not far from Columbus, Lexington, No,
and we're a state of, like, essentially 4 or 5 regions that should all be parts of other states. If West Virginia didn't exist, Wheeling would Weirton go to Pittsburgh. All the Reds fans would go towards Southern Ohio. You get the idea. D.C., Eastern Panhandle will be a D.C. or Baltimore thing, be part of Maryland or Virginia. All makes sense. So we have, like, very disparate parts as a state. And they don't always, it's a little bit of a conflict.
We talked to Delegate Scott Heckert last hour, and he was one of the big proponents of consolidating school systems and say we don't need 55 boards of education. Where are you on that?
I mean, I think we should. We have too many schools. We have too many counties. We have too much of that stuff. Until we are filling them, we should fix that. Scott and I agree on very little, and that's not something that gets you elected. That's something that makes local government people angry.
Exactly. That's what I said.
They lose their mild local power, which is irrelevant. But Wirt County, Calhoun County, all these places, if you have a superintendent, you have a grade, a middle, and a high school, why? What's the point? You have counties with 4,000 people in them. That doesn't work.
Not enough people. Meadows talks about it all the time.
Economies of scale aren't there.
We just simply don't have enough people.
Yeah, but again, politicians who say that, well, that immediately is a local problem. No one's going to, run behind that. It's good business. It's bad politics.
No, because I can tell you, if you go down to some of these smaller areas, I'll say Logan County, for example, Mingo, whatever, you go in and you say, I am going to eliminate the school board, or I'm going to eliminate most of the jobs in the courthouse or in the central office, you are going to be finding yourself doing something else for a living.
That's the only money and power that people in local government who aren't very good at this have to hand out. Hold on, how do I get my idiot brother another job driving a school bus?
All right,
that's the kind of stuff we're dealing with.
Here's going to be our final thing. I don't normally read text till after 2:30, but this one's for you.
Okay.
Said, Rob, so glad to hear a rational voice. That's you they're talking about.
Awesome.
How do we get rid of these Democrats that have infiltrated the Republican Party and these radical right-wingers that just want to mess up stuff for the sake of messing stuff up?
Well, I welcome everybody to the party that wants to come over here and vote like a Republican, or at least be conservative. People in the state are very conservative. Outside about 15% that are Charleston, East End left, or the equivalent. Most people are right of middle in this state at very minimum. I don't think you want to get rid of anybody. I think you want to have the debate, have the dialogue. I don't think we as a party did a very good job when the flip happened after 2014 of making sure the people that came over and switched were, how do I say this, given conditions of behavior. I wouldn't say we welcome them too broadly, but essentially the same Ds who ran and won for stuff in the southern counties, like Logan, like Lincoln, like Boone, have just flipped their voter registration and aren't actually that conservative. The funny thing was...
All right, wrap it up.
Yeah, we made our money in 12, 10, and 14 by beating guys who were Republican soft. There were Dems who still claimed they went to church. We just beat the tar out of them, and those people were back. And how do we make the party more conservative again? We beat them in primaries.
All right. Rob Cornelius, always a pleasure to have you on the show, my friend.
Good, man. That was fun. And we did it in one whole segment. That was like one whole giant segment.
Yeah.
Thank you.
A lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, it was good.
And somebody said
nutrient dense.
Somebody said that you're rational, so there's that.
I am sometimes.
All right. We'll take a break. Come back after this.
Welcome to Biscuit Country, where joy is measured one ladle at a time, where smiles come with a side of gravy, warming the soul. Start your morning at Tudor's Biscuit World with our super breakfast, or dig into the Big Tater. Crispy potatoes topped with eggs and bacon, then crowned with savory gravy. And don't forget the classic, gravy over a biscuit. Welcome to Biscuit Country, where at Tudor's, you're always home.
If you have a child who's a junior in high school in West Virginia or know someone that does, please listen up. Here's your opportunity to win a full scholarship from West Virginia Wesleyan College that includes room, board, tuition, and fees. The 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program is presented by ZMM Architects and Engineers and the West Virginia Farm Bureau. The deadline is May 3rd. For details, go to wvmetronews.com to apply. That's wvmetronews.com. Remember, application deadline is May 3rd.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
On the next State of Minds.
I came here to Morgantown, the WVU. I wanted to play football. Tried to walk on, but I was humbled very quickly. So I joined the WVU forestry team. What my father taught me was the importance of hard work and the importance of sweat equity.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
It all comes down to this in Charleston. The 2026 West Virginia Boys High School Basketball State Championships presented by Chick-fil-A. Saturday, March 21st. Every possession, every roar of the crowd, every championship moment. Live on Metro News Television, powered by GoMart. Watch on mobile, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select Samsung Smart TVs. Details at wvmetronewstv.com to get in the action.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. It makes you feel defeated. I'm just gonna be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not gonna be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
With Metro News Hotline. If it's trending, it's probably here.
And then the other thing, his last name is one of those weird Norwegian names where they have two vowels that slam into each other. It's like the A and the E are like cemented into each other.
You're like the 12th Dave that works here. What do you think people from Norwegian think about that?
That is fair.
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
Welcome back to the show. Coming toward the bottom of the hour. Just enough time to remind you that Open Line West Virginia is coming up. 1-800-765-TALK. That is the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. We'll get to your phone calls and texts after the bottom of the hour. 1-800-765-TALK. Or text me 304-TALK 304. It's Metro News Midday. Stay with us. And now we'll go to the Metro News anchor desk for a check of local news. You're listening to Midday on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Chris Lawrence. State Superintendent of Schools Michelle Blatt has announced 47 county school systems have been granted waivers for days missed for that January snowstorm. Every county missed 5 days that week after Governor Morrissey declared a state of emergency. Assistant State Superintendent Jeff Kelly said that clears the way for the waiver.
The state superintendent may decrease or waive, in this case, days when there's an emergency or disaster declaration by the governor.
County school systems won't have to make up the days that were waived. Kelly said about half of the 47 districts received 5 days and the others less than that. State Senator Eric Tarr says leadership is to blame for a very disappointing regular session for the Republican supermajority in Charleston. Tarr, speaking on 580 WCHS earlier today, called it the most disappointing session he's ever been involved in.
For the past 2 years, the Republican Senate majority has not had a cohesive agenda that we go in and say, okay, this is where we know we're going to be, and we're going to wrap a team around it and get this done. It just didn't happen this session, didn't happen last session.
And Tarr said he had hoped things would change with the leadership going into next year, and said too often bills that gained traction did so by virtue of who was sponsoring them rather than on the merits of whether they made good policy. An inmate at the federal prison in Hazleton has died. The Federal Bureau of Prisons says 35-year-old Jerome Jones was found unresponsive in his cell and pronounced dead when life-saving procedures failed to revive him. The cause of death is unknown. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Tough, reliable, and ready to work. You were born that way. Kubota is built that way. Our entire ag lineup, featuring versatile tractors and hay tools, powerful skid steer loaders, and the rugged Sidekick utility vehicle, is designed with the engine of a Kubota and the heart of a farmer. Visit KubotaUSA.com to find a dealer near you.
Worried about paying for college? Metro News is proud to present the 19th annual West Virginia Scholar Program, where one high school junior in West Virginia will win a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan College, including room, board, tuition, and fees. For details, go to wvmetronews.com and click the Apply Now button. Deadline is May 3rd. The 2026 West Virginia Scholar Program, presented by Greer Industries and the West Virginia Hospital Association. Go to wvmetronews.com and apply today by May 3rd.
A Maryland man is admitted to helping run a large-scale drug operation in Berkeley and Jefferson County. 61-year-old David Reyes of Hagerstown, Maryland, pleaded guilty to conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute cocaine, fentanyl, and heroin in this drug enterprise. Federal prosecutors say the drugs were dealt out of a Martinsburg auto body shop, and Reyes was among 24 people who were arrested in the investigation. From the Metro News anchor desk, I'm Chris Lawrence.
Hey, everything okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
Honey. Hey, I'm here for you. Tell me about school today.
When kids can't find the right words, music can help them sound it out. Talk to the kids in your life about their emotional well-being. Find tools and resources at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
This is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com.
Welcome back to the show. 26 away from 3 o'clock. It's Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit SalangoLaw.com. State tournament action continues at the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center. Follow along, if you will, on WVMetroNews.com and all of our social media sites as well. We meaning they, do a really good job of doing game highlights, and they've taken it to a whole another level. So make sure we have the immediate game highlights, the packages, press conferences, so on and so forth, WVMetroNews.com or on our social media pages as well. And if you haven't done so, make sure you download the Metro News television app, because come Saturday, Championship Saturday, all 4 games live in their entirety can be viewed on your smart television, whatnot, on other devices with the Metro News TV app. So download it and get ready to watch what's been a pretty entertaining tournament. It's day 3, and some teams have already clinched their berth, at least I think a couple, on Saturday. So get ready. get ready for some championship games by downloading the Metro News television app. Open line West Virginia, 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. Texas, if America doesn't get oil from overseas like Trump said, then why is oil in this country going up? Because we are not part of OPEC and we are energy independent. Should not be happening. On the conversation about saving electricity. Saving electricity, says the texter, is a great thought, but if we all save too much, it will cut into the company's profit, and there'll be and then there will be, I think that's supposed to be the Public Service Commission asking for an increase. I didn't catch, sometimes I don't get to catch the last bit of talk line. I'm doing, one thing or the other, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm eating lunch at my desk. And I didn't get to hear about sometimes I don't get to hear like the last 30 minutes or so of talk line at my desk. When I come downstairs today, standing outside, and I'm listening, and I hear Wilson and Meadows, and they tell me I'm the old guy on the staff here, but it's always, shaking my fist at clouds. These two are talking about things, I guess, that their parents used to say about turning the lights off and things of that nature. And I thought, what have I walked into? I thought I'm supposed to be the resident curmudgeon here, but apparently those two are as well. I do remember, though, to follow up on that conversation, I will say that I have always been that person that goes in, and even here at the office, I walk by the conference room and the light's on. I'm like, why is the light on? Turn the light off. I don't know, just the way I was raised, I guess. Tex said, I heard the Senator Tarr interview today. He's definitely throwing other Republicans under the bus. Well, the thing about Eric Tarr, and I've known Senator Eric Tarr for a long time. I knew him before he was Senator Eric Tarr. The one thing about Eric Tarr, and a lot of people may not like this, maybe they like it about him, maybe they don't. You never have to wonder where you stand with Senator Tarr. He's a straight shooter. I mean, he really, really is. And even his most ardent rivals, Republicans or Democrats in the legislature, would say the same thing about him. You never have to wonder where you stand with Eric Tarr, because he pretty much tells it like he thinks it is. And I don't mean that in a flippant kind of way. I mean,